The planning, the invites, the waiting, and in a flash, it's over. Like the recruiting season's version of a wedding, prep baseball's feature games is over. And like the exchanging of nuptials, the best is yet to come as the commitments come pouring in for the parade of talent that hit Lake Point Sports. Welcome into another Coffee and Curveballs. Cory McCartney, along with Shooter Hunt. And we are still trying to catch our breath after the 2024 feature games, which saw a whopping 425 college coaches. And Shooter, the review all weekend long that this may have been the deepest talent pool the event has ever produced.
Well, let me clear that up. It absolutely was. And we talked beforehand about that 2019 crew that's gone on to great success. I think in the end, this will end up blowing it away. The talent all over, 600 plus uncommitted kids. You talked about the 400 plus college coaches. There was some serious FOMO going on from me trying to get around to watch everything that was there just because the talent was just so good. Every arm that hopped on the mound seemed to be 90 plus, clean, athletic mover, quick arm, high upside. Every hitter that got in the box had no issue with those arms. It was outstanding.
Let's start at the top and talk most valuable player and most valuable pitcher. Indiana's Rob Zarnecki claims MVP after going 5 for 9 with a home run, a triple and 4 BI. The Chesterton and Indiana Bulls product runs a 6.62 260 with a max velo of 103.5 and an outfield velo of 90. In a word, dynamic.
Absolutely dynamic. True center fielder can really track it down. A right guy like that. This is, again, a small window. You got 4 days to perform. The results may not show in that gameplay in this small window, which is why when kids come, having that workout day has a chance to shine there and really get on people's radar. Zarnecki did it all. Whether it was the workout, the ability to run, he's athletic, he's physical in the box. Then he gets up there and performs in game. I was laughing with Phil Wade. What I thought was going to be his last at bat of the tournament. I said, if he hits a home run here, I mean, he's a slam dunk MVP. He ended up just missing it, popping up. But then it went on 2 more innings. He ended up coming back around. And what does he do? Oh, he hits 103 off the bat for a home run. And it really solidified what he did there. He's the guy, the more you watch him, the more you like. And when opportunity meets preparation, this guy did not just get lucky. He was ready for the limelight. He made the most of his big spotlight there. And I'm just so happy for what he was able to show because he is that good. And in this short little window, he was able to shine.
Well, shout out to Rob's mom who stopped me after workout day. They were also on hand for the 16U National Championship. So a cap to a huge summer for Indiana's top-ranked outfielder and his family. The mound on the feature games can change everything for a player. And that was no doubt the case for Tennessee's Cade Allen, who walked away most valuable pitcher. The nation's 24th ranked right-hander out of South Gibson struck out 4 and 2 perfect innings against a ridiculously deep Texas lineup, running the fastball up to 93.
And I think you talked about the lineup he was going up against, just how ridiculous that was. We'll be talking about some position players in my Impact 75. I think he faced all those guys that were in there. But the fastball is outstanding. He's got these long arms, crazy extension, 90 and 92. Breaking ball has a chance to climb up the plus in the future. He's able to drop in for a strike, quality changeup, looks the part of a starter. Really good athlete. He also took BP throughout the workout day, got his feet wet last year. Continues to climb up what we talked about, those rankings, but that chance to start and the ability to have 3 pitches above average are what really helped him. And then go out there and dominate a Texas lineup that was as good, if not better than any at the event. That shows a lot about what Cade Allen's about. That dude's ready to win.
By the way, last year's most valuable pitcher, Georgia's Eston Simpson, won with a performance against Texas. So the lesson here is pitchers better start angling for a shot at the Longhorn State if they want to win this award. You put out a piece in the top 60 pitchers from the event, a list that you said could have gone closer to 100 arms. We're not going to get into all 60, so I urge everyone to get over to the Prep Baseball website to take a look at it in all its glory. But we're going to take your top 7, and it starts with 2 right-handers, Florida's Caden Wechter and Washington's Eli Hurst.
Yeah, you talk about Wechter, who pitched in the final game of the night, Florida versus Georgia, already a huge rivalry game. The field looked like there was at least 10 future big leaguers on there. Best game I've ever seen at the future games. And Wechter started. And what I loved about him, dude was not scared and has a plan. He's 6'3", about 190, 90 and 92. He was backspinning at about 2,800 RPM. Some nice humidity there in the 10 o'clock hour, but 3 pitches for strikes. What was really separated him was the ability to move the fastball around. He challenged guys. He went up against Keon Johnson, who we'll talk about here in a second. He was determined to go in with a plan, 4 straight fastballs dotted to the inside, to the arm side. Then he was also able to go to the slider multiple times, chance to be a wipeout pitch in the future. He's a two-way guy, shortstop, looks the part on the mound, 3 pitches for strike, future starter. And I mean, the dude shook my hand afterwards. I really got alpha there because he squeezed the heck out of that thing. He's just an absolute gamer. Loved what Wechter was about. And then Hurst, I mean, what's not to dream on? The Pacific Northwest arms race continues to roll on. About 6'6", square shoulders. His first outing, he hops up. He's 89 to 93, a real slider, plus feel for the changeup, looks the part of a starter, and just the confidence and moxie on the mound, the expectation of success, the belief in self to come all the way from the Seattle area, fly down to Atlanta, go out there and show, hey, I'm the best guy here. It was outstanding to see what he was able to do there.
I did a live in-game talk back with Tennessee scouting director Hunter Martin during their game against Georgia. He went into detail on Bo Halloway, who pitched that in that game. He and another southpaw, Indiana's Beckett Doan, both had your attention.
Yeah, you're always looking for those southpaws, right? There was a good reason why when Bo Halloway towed the rubber, there were about 60 schools standing right behind the net, locked in as close as they could be. But it's a unicorn fastball, and he really gets down the mound well, full stretch setup, jumps out of the hand, some uncomfortable swings at the plate. I think that 90 and 92 plus is only going to get to really grow in the future and really jump, but he's going to be able to get whiffs in the zone on that fastball. The slider played a little inconsistent at 83 to 85, but it's thrown firm. There's more than enough to work with there. He's shown better in the past. Huge upside when you have a dynamic mover like he is down the mound. And then Doan, who just oozed confidence throughout his outing. Looks very much like a kid from Jersey, Salamito, that was a second rounder to the Pirates a couple of years ago, doing really well in the minor leagues right now. But it's a funky look, arms and legs moving all over. But he flooded the zone, was able to go left on left changeups. He's got a solid slider, but fastball in the zone, throws a ton of strikes, athletic. And more than anything, there is that confidence and expectation of success. That's what really carries Beckett Doan to another level.
Well, Martin told me that he thinks Holloway's national ranking is way too low. So if that does not change, I would expect him to come with flaming pitchforks and all that fun stuff. We round out the list with Texas's Cooper Harris, Kansas's Tucker Thompson, and Pennsylvania's Keller Bradley. 3 arms that all spun multiple scoreless innings and 3 arms that were all into the low 90s. Yeah,
Cooper Harris, you're talking about a big, strong Texan. That's what you're expecting out of those guys. Square shouldered, look like he had tree trunks for legs. Flower Mound kid, which is one of the top programs, premier program in Dallas and the state of Texas. But 90-92 can really spin it, had a big spring. He's going to throw harder. I think what's so cool about him is that the upside's there. There's a ton of right now stuff, but the future projection is what's going to help carry him. I expect him to make some jumps into the future. He was outstanding there. Tucker Thompson threw on the last day. If you blinked, you missed it because he was just dicing and slicing everybody from left side to loose arm stroke, in the low 90s, feel for 3 pitches, quality changeup. He was tunneling a slider, just absolutely back-legging right-handed hitters, making them look silly. Sword collector there. And then Keller Bradley, a Pennsylvania product, 6'5", 6'6". He's grown. I always look for those PA guys to make huge jumps. Seems to be the state where guys really develop late. He's already got the right now stuff. He's got the frame to project. It's big arm strength. It was uncomfortable at bats, 3 pitches. That fastball is going to jump. I really like the upside and the future projection on Keller Bradley.
Your impact position players led off with a guy who has been doing damage at LakePointSports for years, Georgia's Keon Johnson. His latest feat, an opposite field shot that was 95 off the bat and went 355 feet.
And you know what's great about Keon, he's from in-state. Almost everybody knows about him, right? He's a big name in the class, top 5 ranking, shortstop, dynamic athlete, projectable, bat speed. So much to like about him. What really helped separate him in this outing was the fact that he faced some mega arms and he was able to get off great swings, deep in counts, tracking pitches and those swing decisions. You talk about early on, he almost put a bullet through the center field hitter's eye for a double, which was outstanding. But then you talk about that Florida-Georgia game where he goes opposite field home run deep in the night for Georgia against an absolute premium arm for Florida. He's already at a ultra high level right now. And what he showed here, I think we may even be still too low on him. The sky is the limit for Keon Johnson right now.
And what I love about him is the composure. Nothing gets this guy up. Nothing gets him down. He is the same guy every time he steps out in the field, and certainly a testament to him without question as performance here. The Peach State's #1 player in 2026, as I mentioned, just keeps showing out. And he's not alone, as we'll get into some more Georgia players later, but two players that made major waves at workout day. Texas's Cole Koninger, who delivered with his legs, arm, and bat, and Ohio's Matt Ponatoski, Moeller's QB1, setting a future games record with a 96 infield velo.
Yeah, two dynamic athletes. You talk about Koninger can do it on the mound. He can do it at the plate. He can do it in the field. He runs well. Again, Texan, who's really athletic, square-shouldered, ultra projectable. I mean, his pro profile right now is set very high. Here's a hint. Koninger will be rising in our national rankings when we release them later in the summer, right before the start of the fall. But what he showed at shortstop, the ability to potentially stick there, but there's power in the bat, ball jumps off, can really run. And then obviously what he does on the mound is always a great quote unquote fallback for him. But he was outstanding throughout. Looking forward to following him the next couple of years. Ponatoski, there's just some it factor to what he brings to the diamond. There's power from the left side, big physical frame. What I loved about him in workouts was how the glove worked. It's really soft hands on the infield. Probably profiles more as a third baseman just because of the physicality of the frame, but he's going to really be able to defend there. Obviously has that strong arm that carries over from the gridiron, but the bat's what's going to separate him. Definitely power to the pull side right now, but his ability to cover the plate and hit the ball the opposite field, that also stands out. He's going to have power to all fields when it's all said and done.
Two more guys that made your workout warriors list, along with the impact position players. Kentucky's A.J. Curry capped his time at Lake Point by going 3 for 3, and that comes after putting up a 94.7 exit velo. Kai Chrisman may have gone hitless in game, but triple-digit exit velo spoke loud enough for Utah's #1 player.
Yeah, A.J. Curry, Kentucky product, can really move the bat around, move the barrel around, can hit balls to all fields. There's power. I thought his in-game at-bats really shined even more so than what the workout showed. Loose wrist, he can get really flicky with it. I think he's going to develop even more power, although he showed off a ton this spring in the state of Kentucky. Shout out JT for all the fouls that we were doing throughout the spring on him. Very excited about his upside and the future hit tool, which might have been the best at the entire event. And then you talk about Cy Chrisman, who, I mean, the frame immediately stands out. I saw him earlier in the summer at the West Coast Pro Case. He was outstanding there, just absolutely departing balls in the Pacific Ocean. What stood out here was, again, the pitch recognition, swing decisions. I think he's going to have a chance to really hit. The power is going to drive everybody to come see him, but his ability to hit and track, that's what's going to separate. And he's a much better athlete than you'd think with that big frame.
I teased two more Georgians while talking about Keon Johnson, and DeCulo's Reeston Durham, back for his second future games, delivered a 3-run blast in a fantastic game against Texas. And Parkview's Malachi Washington just keeps showing that dynamic game just each and every time he takes the field.
And both of them recently had a great showing last year. He's anointed as one of those guys you had to watch in this 26th class. He did not rest on his laurels. He was committed to getting better, and he has. Showed off that power, like you said, with the home run, some really nice defensive work where guys are going to have a strong chance to have him stick at shortstop at the next level. Love what Reese and Durham did there. And then Malachi Washington, who has been a name. He's high profile, big time program in the state. I thought he was outstanding, and he really elevated himself. For me, it was put immediately onto a profile list where the athleticism, the power profile, he was able to show off the bat to ball. There's definitely some plus tools in there. He's a guy that pro guys are already going to have to follow in a hurry.
For college recruiters, the focus was obviously on the 2026s, but during our Future Games watch party, I talked with Prep Baseball Texas's Brandon Goins about bringing younger players. And he had an interesting take. He said they basically become your spokesperson for the future. And there was plenty of that on display, including two of the top players in 2027 in Texas's Lash Henderson. That class is #1, Georgia's Caden Dawson, who was 7th in the class. And there were even some 2028s making some noise.
Yeah, and you know what's cool about bringing those guys? You kind of get their feet wet because it is a marquee event. You got so many eyes there. They kind of get comfortable just so that next year when everybody's there, it can help them see what to expect. It also helps for a guy like Goins where you don't want to go out and lose. There's some bragging rights on the line between those state lines. You want to make sure your front line guys are ready to go next year. But you talk about Lash Henderson, and it's as physical a frame as they have in the class. He steps on the field, he passes the eye test in a hurry. But again, the maturity of his approach in the box is something that stood out all week. I think the power profile is going to be there. It all comes very easily to him, but he's a kid who's determined to get better, which is very helpful for him. You'd say Caden Dawson, that dude was just born to hit. Left-handed hitter. He is not scared, got off some aggressive hacks. I love the blue collar approach that he brings to the plate from the left side. But it wasn't just those two guys. I thought that the Tennessee duo was absolutely dynamic. They were alluring. You had to get eyes on them throughout. Banks Addison is shortstop. Hint, hint, this guy is going to rise up these 27 rankings. Can stick at shortstop, blasted a big home run, was not scared. He is moxie through the roof. It was just outstanding to watch him, especially as a shortstop premium position guy who's going to stick there. Jaden Pearl, welcome world. This guy has a chance to be a superstar. On time, it's quick turns, direct path, ball jumps off the barrel. He hit a home run where I even went in to ask him, did you think that was gone? Nope. That's the type of power that he has, that he can almost hit balls, get out on that front foot and still flick it over the fence. He was outstanding. From the arm side, Cash Martin from Nevada, he looked a part of a future ace. And any of the coaches in attendance were able to get some serious circles down on him to hit the ground running next summer, next spring, get eyes out there before August 1st. 3 pitches for a strike. He was dominant. And then a California pair. Ira Rootman, I thought was outstanding. Harvard Westlake kid, can really hit the frame profile as well. Bear Calvo is just an absolute gamer. Ball jumps off the bat. And then, sorry, Corey, I have to talk about 120-28 because Utah brought a really good one. Austin Brown, outfielder, looked the part. He could have easily been told me he was a 2026 left-handed hitter. There's power there right now. Obviously, just going to high school, but he's a name we'll be following for the next 2 years before coaches can even call him.
Yeah, at future games, it feels like it's going to be a measuring stick for everything that comes after it, one that's going to have a lasting impact on college baseball rosters for years to come. So keep your eyes peeled as those commitments keep flying in. Until next time, I'm Cory McCartney, that's Shooter Hunt, and we'll see you at the Diamond.